over the past 4 or so years now, I've been buying shares of the Global X Nasdaq 100 Covered Call ETF, known as ticker symbol QYLD. So many shares to, as of right now, filming this video, I currently hold around 2,734 shares of QYLD, which I paid around $19.77 per share across the board. Now, if you add that all up together, that's over $50,000 invested in just QYLD, which, like I said, I purchased over a span of, say, 3 or 4 years. Now in this video, we're going to look a little bit deeper into QYLD and explain exactly why I purchased so much of this ETF in the first place. I'm also going to share exactly how much I receive in dividend income on average on a monthly basis from this ETF. And then stick around towards the end because I'm going to share my current thoughts of QYLD in 2024, and if or if not, I still think this ETF is a good buying opportunity for income-focused investors. So stick around, drop a like down below, and let's get right into this one. Real quick, for those that haven't already, make sure to go to the first link in my description and grab my new dividend investing ebook, where I share exactly how I went from $0 invested to now earning over $6,000 on a monthly basis and over $1 million invested in the markets. Along with the ebook, you're also going to receive my custom dividend tracker, where you can track your dividend progress on an ongoing basis and reach your dividend investing goals. So make sure to grab yourself a copy of my dividend investing ebook and the new dividend tracker today. It's the first link in my description. So like I was sort of saying in the intro, I do own around 2,734 shares of QYLD across multiple different portfolios, and by no means did I purchase all these shares of QYLD at one time. I purchased tons of shares in 2020 and 2021, and it's honestly been a while since I purchased a lot of QYLD, although just as of recently, in the last month or two, I did grab a few more shares. Now, real quick, for those investors that aren't super aware of what QYLD or how this ETF even works, it's a typical covered call ETF. And it says right here on the website, reasons to consider it: high income potential, monthly distributions, and efficient options execution. It says QYLD seeks to generate high income through covered call writing, which historically produces higher yields in times of volatility. QYLD has made payments to investors in the form of distributions for 10 years running straight. And QYLD writes call options on the NASDAQ 100 index, saving investors time and potential expense of doing so themselves. Now, some more interesting facts about QYLD: the total expense ratio is about 0.61%. So because of the strategy and the management involved, QYLD, along with a lot of other covered call ETFs, is going to cost you a little bit to own. There's also almost $8 billion in net assets. So this is one of the largest covered call ETFs across the entire market. Now, another very interesting and probably a very important fact about QYLD to a lot of you dividend or income focused investors is the way that QYLD's distributions are taxed potentially. Now, this is as of February 2024, so a few months back. Now, it breaks down the distributions and how they're taxed. And as you can see right here, return of capital. This is a very important aspect. QYLD's percentage breakdown of current distribution is around 96.79% return of capital, which could definitely be an efficient tax method for some investors looking to kick the can down the road when it comes to taxes. But even with all that, QYLD is definitely far from a perfect dividend or income focused ETF. As you can see right here in the max time frame, this ETF is down around 30.5%. And like I said towards the beginning of the video, I own a ton of QYLD at just around a $20 cost basis, which means I'm down pretty significantly as far as ETF price if I were to go to sell my shares today. But of course, real magic with QYLD is that monthly dividend that has been paid now for 10 years running, which at least as of recently is somewhere around 16 to 18 cents per share per month, which definitely has added up nicely now that I'm just sitting around 3,000 shares of QYLD. Now, the reason QYLD doesn't pay the same amount every single month is because this ETF strategy and of course the different volatility in the markets and in the option premiums. But all in all, QYLD keeps paying what it's paying at right around 17, 18 cents per share per month. We're talking somewhere around a 10, 11, 12% trailing 12-month yield, which is pretty massive. And even though a lot of investors give QYLD sort of a bad rep, because even though the ETF pays a nice juicy dividend every single month, the ETF has of course decayed substantially over time. Even with that said, all in all, if an investor would have invested $10,000 into QYLD back during the start date in 2013, when QYLD was trading at $25 plus per share, now around $17. Because of those nice juicy dividends, an investor still would have had a total return of around 97% over around 10.36 years, or an average total return just shy of 7%. Now, I am by no means saying that a 7% average total return is the best thing across the entire market, but I will say for those investors that are more focused on cash flow today and build out an asset that's maybe going to help them pay some of their bills or maybe help them retire early, QYLD is definitely not the worst investment I've seen across the entire markets. considering there's definitely yield traps out there like TSLY, for example, which started at $40 per share, now trading at $12.98 per share. And even though TSLY has paid massive dividends basically every single month since this ETF started, an investor would have had a total return of minus 27.78%, and that's with dividends reinvested. So all in all, has QYLD decayed like crazy over the past, say, 10 or so years? And on top of that, am I down on my shares of QYLD as of right now? If I were to go to sell the shares, yes. But has QYLD paid me every single month a ton of dividend income and allowed me to reinvest that money into different things like realty income, like SCHD, or even DGRW? The answer is also yes. And if I were to take QYLD's sort of average dividend that we've been seeing over the past few months of around 17 cents per share per month and multiply that dividend with my 2,734 shares of QYLD, which I currently own as of right now, we're talking about across all my portfolios where I own shares of QYLD, around $464.78 every single month, more or less, and again in a sort of tax efficient manner if that's what you're looking for. Now, I'm personally not doing this by any means, but if I were to take those dividends and reinvest every single dollar that QYLD pays me on a monthly basis, I could then buy around 26 more shares of QYLD, which then next month will each pay me around 17 cents more per share, which will raise my dividend income from just QYLD up around $4.41 every single month ongoingly, and that's only going to get bigger most likely. So is QYLD my favorite position throughout my entire portfolio? And is this a position that I'm going to buy a ton more shares of anytime soon here? The answer to that is no and no. But is QYLD a position that I'm down slightly on, but getting paid handsomely along the way, and allowing me to generate a ton of income to reinvest into more different dividend paying stocks and ETFs on a monthly basis? The answer to that is yes. So moving forward, the final thing I want to talk about is if or if not QYLD is offering a buying opportunity in 2024 for more dividend income focused investors. The answer to that would be maybe. And I say maybe because it's not the worst covered call ETF across the entire market in my opinion, but there's definitely better covered call ETFs out there in my opinion. The JP Morgan Nasdaq Equity Premium Income ETF, which I own 508 shares of, or even a newer covered call ETF, which I've been in love with as of recently, ticker symbol SPYI. But if QYLD does dip a little bit further from here, will I average down maybe a small amount to lower my average cost per share? It's definitely possible. But more importantly, I want to hear from you guys down below when it comes to QYLD, the Global X Nasdaq 100 Covered Call ETF. Is this an ETF that you currently have in your portfolio? Let us know yes or no, or why or why not. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to please drop a like in it and subscribe for more future content like this. So make sure to grab yourself a copy of my dividend investing ebook and the new dividend tracker today. It's the first link in my description. Thanks as always for stopping by. And if you are interested in investing, make sure to check out these recent videos I posted right here.